it, you know, because I love it, and to, like I said, because I'm a music lover like your stuff, like Ski Beats, and there's definitely a lot of talent.
Yeah.
What type of dog do you have? I know in a couple of songs like Other Love, and then even in Destination Unload, you talk about your dog. So I was just wondering what type of dog do you have?
I do, yeah. Becca, P-E-G-A. She's an English Cocker Spaniel. She's my skinny little girl. She's over in the other room right now. I had to kind of lock her up. She'd be all over here right now while I'm talking to you. But yeah, she's my buddy. I mean, to get her, I actually said, like, I've lived in Harlem the majority of my time, but there was a period where I lived in New Jersey, and I bought her. I wasn't trying to get a dog, and this creature pretty much changed my life, being able to care for something that, you know, it took me away from really focusing on myself so much, you know, being able to give a home to a creature, knowing that I could provide this creature a really beautiful life. So she really changed my life. That's why I mention her so much in my songs. Like, in Destination, I say, you know, I want to take my dog and get up out of here. I want to take my love and get up out of here. I want to change my life for good. And it's like, you know, I just want to take my dog somewhere. You know, I want to go walk her, like, in a field somewhere that might not be in New York, you know, and you have those moments. But, yeah, she's great, and it's cool to have the random nature of what it is to have a dog, you know, around as an artist. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I actually have a dog myself. He's a beagle. His name is Buddy because he's super friendly.
Oh, cool! Beagles are great.
Yeah, he's hella cool. Like he likes to watch TV, and he's really fat. He's kind of overweight. He's about 40 pounds, but he just chills, and like when I'm making beats and stuff, and like when I'm listening to different records, like he'll sit underneath my desk and he'll just like chill with me, and it's like, I don't know, the coolest vibe.
Oh, cool. Yeah, man, dogs are really receptive to music. Like, if I leave and I know I'm going to be gone for a few hours, I'll put on some music and I come back and my dog is Becca's just there, just chilling, like she's listening to the music, you know? I mean, they're really receptive, I think. They're just smaller versions of us who can't speak, and it's like the craziest thing, and I feel like they really, you know, are receptive to music.
Right, definitely. And I think they absolutely help in the process. They don't say anything, but just being there, like, you know, that's your friend.
Yeah, totally.
It helps you. As an artist, you know, you've been through, you know, pretty much the whole grind. You started as a background vocalist. I saw some videos on YouTube, you know, performing in subway tunnels and stuff. You really had like the grind of a musical background. Like, how's that affected the way that you? How's that affected your music and your outlook? I guess as an artist.
Well, I feel that right now being an artist time is a really beautiful thing because you no longer have to go through a major label in order to live a quality life as a performer and making your songs work for you. And there came a point where I had decided I don't want to do anything other than make music, and to be in New York is really quite a gift because the MTA, the New York Subway Transit System, is a really great place because there's an opportunity to go make money every single day as a musician on, you know, like maybe some days I don't get accounted to for some of the songs that I've written. So, you know, I have to grind. I might not have a gig that I'm getting paid for. So what I have to do is I made the decision to go out on the subway and perform so I can make my tips and make my money. So, I guess I love being around people, and I've always been a people person. I think that's why I went into the arts, you know, as early as 8 years old. I began performing in front of a live audience with pianists in Chicago and jazz clubs because my dad owned a Greek restaurant, and then my grandfather loved jazz, so I was exposed really young. But street performing has always been an element that had attracted me. As early as like 15, I was out on the bridge in Chicago, on the Tribune Bridge off Michigan Avenue, singing with a clarinetist named Malik and another gentleman who played djembe. His name was Rhythm, and I'd just be out there singing with them. It really started then, but moving to New York, I was like, hey, you know what, why don't I do this as my full-time gig? Let this be my day job. And it's affected me because it's great. It gets you with people right away. I've met really great blog writers and photographers who are like, hey, yo, I really love what you do. I really want to be a part of it somehow. And they're serious. You know, these are like world-class people at what they do, and it's like, wow, like they see you and they're like, wow, I really want to be a part of your movement. So I feel it's made it for me as an independent underground artist, an immediate connection to my audience. The people who are really intrigued by me are like, hey, I want to buy your music. Where do I go? And I'll be like, yo, I got a card. Just download it here. You know, and making extra sales from that as well. Like, yo, you know, I'm not just a street performer. I'm actually an artist, but I'm doing this right now so that you can hear this immediately. It's like being a part of a flash mob. It just happens, and it throws people off, you know. And to be able to be a street performer on the side and take people out of their element. You see a lot of people with their iPods. They try to act like they're not listening to you, but then they take off their earphones and they begin to listen to you, and they're experiencing it live. You know, I love studio recording and how it makes people feel when they take it home, but there's also a part of me who's a live performer, and I've really focused probably the majority of my life being a live performer, whether it be in acting or music, but majority music. You know, I love that immediate connection that you have with people when they have to look into your eyes. I feed off of that, and I feel it makes me a better performer. So it's definitely informed me as an artist, having the opportunity to make opportunity for myself. Otherwise, where it would seem that I don't have it. You know, for me, if someone's like, you can't be a part of this day job anymore, I'll be like, okay, cool, no problem. I'll just go and sing. You know I have a gift that can put food on my table, or food for my dog, or help supply me to get what I need to get in order to go to a gig, or get to a train station to go to work with a producer that I want to work with. You know, so it's a great thing to own your gift, you know, and own your talent, and know that there aren't any free handouts. You know, I'm not seeking necessarily a major deal, because I know that there's nothing that anyone can do for me that I can't do for myself, you know, and I'm very aware of that, and I feel that I own that.
Right, and independence is very important for some artists, especially, for you, obviously, everything that you're saying, that you crave your independence and that you're in charge of your own destiny. Some people wait around. They may have a gift, but they wait around for people to make an opportunity for them. But for most people, that doesn't happen. You have to make your own destiny. You may be the most talented person in the world, not you, but just people. And if you don't take charge of your gifts, of your destiny, and go out there and go get it, then it's never going to happen. So it's definitely you're the inspiration to me, and hopefully, you know, many other people.
Yeah, it's important to believe in yourself. We all have a story. You know, I've had a lot of loss in my life. I lost my father to a car accident. I lost my grandfather to cancer. And, you know, I've had, not like, oh, woe is me, but I say that as an empowerment, because, you know, the people who believed in me, a lot of them have passed away, or, you know, are getting older. Like, my mother and grandmother are still alive and live in Chicago, but, you know, it's like, it's been hard, because I feel like I have to be the breadwinner, you know, and some days, you know, I've been out here by myself now for years, and I might visit once a year in Chicago, and I have myself to believe in, and I feel, you know, my talent, I'm a God-fearing person. I believe in God, and I feel that, you know, this gift wasn't given to me to not do anything with it, and I have to be my main team member. I have to, like, step into my own office and be like, yo, Likey, like, you need to do this today. We need to do this today, because no one else is going to do that for me. And I feel that it's also a gift to believe in yourself, you know, but I want everyone to believe in themselves who I know personally, because there's no other way to live. It's a sense of freedom, you know, that can't be bought. You know, it's to believe in yourself and to know and to work at what you love. That's why I work at it so hard, you know. It's because I love it, and I believe that, you know, this is going somewhere for me. I know.
Absolutely. And it's good, going back to the live, you know, showmanship, and you doing the shows in the subway and stuff like that. It's good that you've mastered, you know, the art of live performance, because that's the other half of being an artist. A lot of people, you know, they're studio musicians, not as far as vocalists or whatever. You hear them live, and it's horrendous. You can't believe it's the same person that you hear on the record, because they've been fixed up so much in the studio. But when you see a performer that has mastered the art of live performing, their talent shines through in their live performances. It's an amazing thing, because that's how you really connect with your audience, with your fans. So, you know, word of mouth is a very powerful tool, and if you have good live performances, people are going to talk about you. People are going to be like, okay, you should go see Eliki, because she's brilliant, she's amazing live. She sounds just the same on her records as she does in real life.
Yeah, for me, studio recording came second. I began my very first performance, if I want to get technical, was when I was 5. I did an old song. It was like a barbershop quartet song called By the Light of the Silver Moon, and my whole family got involved. My grandfather made a silver moon out of foil. He was backstage holding the moon, making it move. I walked around the table, and I knew then that was something special. And I was very, very young. I mean, no one told me, no one was there to, hold my hand. Of course, my mother ear-trained me back and forth because she loved music, and I think for her maybe it was a pastime because my mother's also a gifted singer. My father sang in Greek and played the mandolin in his restaurant. And there was always music around, and it was not unnatural for me to walk around my room singing, and no one ever told me. Maybe my older brother would be like, Elizabeth, shut up, but, it was never that serious. I was always working at my craft, and I always had an outlet. I could always go to a piano bar. As young as 8, I was singing with a pianist in Chicago who passed away, God rest his soul, Buddy Charles, who was a famous pianist at the Cote d'Or at the Drake Hotel. And also at Dick's Last Resort, there was a big band called Dick Beebe's Big Band with Franz Jackson, who also passed away. And these people would invite me up on stage and say, hey, learn this song, learn Bill Bailey, learn this song, come back and perform. And at first there's an element of shock and nervousness that comes in, but I got over that by the time I was 10 years old because I'd already started performing in front of live audiences that young. And then it became a essence of me focusing on my precision. And, when I could record myself with a tape deck or a tape cassette, I'd listen back and I'd be like, ooh, I sound flat. Ooh, I sound sharp. So for me, it was just me being, they always say that you're your own worst critic, but it was me being highly critical of myself in order for me to bring out, I guess, the best performance that I could. Every single time I go back, it was like what I guess you would call, I used to play volleyball. It would be like going to a volleyball tournament and, applying some of my technique for the next game. You get stronger, you get better if you practice. And, I never had a formal lesson, but my training came from the jazz scene in Chicago. And these elders who really, not just me, I'm not the only one, but all these elders, Fred Anderson, as I became a teenager, I started going to the Velvet Lounge. Fred Anderson passed away, Vaughn Freeman, another great, amazing saxophone player who passed away. All these people really reached out to the community, and when they would see young talent, they would seize it and say, hey, there's nothing more important than being in front of a live audience, and if you mess up, so what? You come back next time, you learn the song, learn the key that it's in, and you perform it in front of us, and that'll be your ground test, and you stay there until 3 in the morning with a group of your peers performing, and that's how you get better at your craft. And, I feel like I'm an old soul. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my mid-20s, but at the same time, I feel like an old soul because all these elders were really, in a way, looking out for me, but not just me, a lot of people in the community in Chicago, a lot of great players now who are performing. And I can't say that I'm not one to judge any pop artists or any people who are out there who are strictly studio performers because there's a market for that too. And it's just a thing of experience. It's like, for me, being the best live performer that I could be is something that I've spent my entire life performing at because I also have an aspect of my life that was involved in acting. I was involved in acting as early as 8 years old as well, and I went to acting school to make myself a better live performer. And for me, the element of being a live performer is where my humanity lies, being in touch with my human experience and being able to share that with a group of people. As I said earlier on the subway, that's what I love, looking into people's eyes and getting them out of their iPods and all their electronics. It's like down in the subway, unless you have an iPod, you're not using your cell phone in the subway. You're forced to interact with people to some degree.
Right.
And people are so afraid of that, but for me as a performer, it's I'm not ashamed or afraid. Those are the moments that I see as an opportunity. Being able to go on stage, some people get so afraid, but for me, I'm never scared because not being able to know what's going to happen is the greatest probable thing that could be for me because it just makes me feel ooh, anything could happen now. This is great. We don't know what the drum's going to do. It's not like it's on loop. You can rehearse and stuff, but everyone, maybe the saxophone player is going to take a different chord, and that's going to force me to sing differently on the end of this song, and that's something in the live aspect of performing that can't be duplicated. I sing the tracks, and I love